Well, that was lovely, wasn't it? Nice and stress-free. West Ham 3, Reading 0 at the Medeski Stadium, if it's even still called that. Really happy with the performance in general. I thought we were dominant. I think we were actually really impressive in possession. I know maybe there was a couple of times within the first 10 minutes, Reading broke on us, and in terms of team shape, they were able to get us. But I mean, to be fair to Reading, I thought they were extremely poor on the ball. Felt they didn't really offer too many chances. They didn't really get in behind us. They didn't threaten. But again, these pre-season fixtures are all about just seeing how West Ham are approaching this time period, how we're trying to get up to match fitness. And I felt that in terms of keeping the ball, the movement of the front four in particular in that first half was really good to see. I thought Bowen, particularly positionally, you're seeing him becoming that striker choice, and Mikel Antonio dropping a bit deeper with the attacking midfielders working off him. And I expected that to happen, to be honest, but it does seem like a slight variation, and with Bowen becoming more of the player that he's looking to run in behind. Coventry on the ball is fantastic. He really is. I thought his counter pressing, in pressing a little bit higher and winning it, was really good. I think my opinion on him is changing slightly in terms of where I feel that he is going to end up playing. I thought he'd be a deep line playmaker, a number 6. But I feel that it suits him being a bit more of a number 8, getting further forward, getting on the ball, finding the correct passes. And it's really encouraging to see that even at this stage of his career, the positive passing choices that he's making, that there's something there for West Ham to work on. There's something there for him to work on. And I do hope that he has a season with us, because I do think he can be valuable in certain type of games. How many times have we sat here and said that West Ham are passing laterally? And at Coventry, the difference in passing ranges, long distance, short distance, through the lines, is something that we can definitely use next season. Now, first half, the goal, Diop, it's an own goal off Dorsett in the end. Good cross from Jarrod Bowen, who put in a few decent crosses from corners tonight. And then second half, I thought we upped the level. And it was really good to see the attacking midfielders, their movement off the ball, their ability to keep the ball. And a lot of that was instigated through Manuel Lanzini. Now, I think there is a little bit of there's always a bit of a concern with Lanzini as to whether he can get through the next season fully fit. It's highly unlikely because of his injury record. But when he's fully sharp, and he does seem to have come into this pre-season really sharp, he's just fantastic on the ball. He's an absolute joy to watch, and he can create from deep, like we saw at times tonight, coming a little bit deeper, even when he was in that number 10 role to pick the ball up, or he can play a little bit further up when West Ham have got possession. So it's a fantastic option to have. If you can keep him fully fit next season for 2025 games, he is an asset. And I really would say that. And I know he's not the same Manu that we saw when he first comes to the club, but there is definitely still a player there. And again, that movement, Ben Rama, when he came on, impressed me. I thought he was a little bit greedy at times on the left-hand side when he was getting it. It does become quite predictable with Ben Rama in terms of wanting to cut in, even in a pre-season game. But when he got into that number 10 role, I felt that he was creating more, he was keeping the ball more, he was attracting players to him, and he was willing to beat them. And the link-up play was a lot better. I think the only criticism, and I'll talk about Johnson's goal because you've got to give it some credit, and it's not really even a criticism, is we were very good overloading those central areas. Really impressive. The tempo of the passing, very good. What Coventry adds is as almost like another number 8. His link up and his intelligence and his forward runs are important. And I can see this being a blueprint of how West Ham are going to play. But it would be nice for us to have a striker making those runs off the back line of opposition teams. That's the only thing that I think West Ham miss. And it's not a coincidence. It's not a surprise. We've known this for a long time. And again, Mikel Antonio, as good as he can be in that number 9 role, when he does get himself in those positions from crossing areas, it's still just in terms of open play, we need to do a little bit more. Now, the goal from Ben Johnson, I'll talk about Coventry, actually. The goal from Coventry, the build-up is what makes it. And that's kind of what I was saying in the build-up. How they work together, the link-up play, the quickness of the passing, how comfortable they are in a ball in that final third. And I think Reading, again, lackluster in terms of going and pressing in defensive positions. But you've got to credit the goal. And it is a good little run-up. Johnson gets the assist and Coventry makes the run. We'll talk about Ben Johnson's goal. Almost completely out of left field. I thought on that note, listen, first half, sometimes when Ben Johnson's rushed, it does feel like he can make rash decisions. But even then, I think a lot of those come from when he plays at left back. When he went and moved to the right-hand side, I thought he was much more comfortable, composed in possession, got forward a little bit more. We know the quality of his deliveries. But, I mean, that goal was just unbelievable. He's just beaten about 4 players and slotted it in with his left foot. And he's another player that, I think West Ham fans, and I think we'll see him this season at times, pop up in Europa League games and Cup games. And he's definitely got a future with us. Of course he has. I suppose people will talk about Nathan Holland. I'm not fully convinced on him, if I'm honest. I think his time's passed. I think injuries have hurt him a little bit in terms of his development. You look at the tempo with which West Ham were playing and the intensity, and Holland just seems a little step behind that. I think he's got qualities, but again, tonight there were certain players like Coventry that were playing against championship opposition and looked really comfortable. And then you look at Holland and you think it's not quite the same. And I don't want to judge him and be too judgmental on him because of the injury record that he's had. But again, he's another player. If we're looking at young players, I'm not sure he's going to come through and necessarily develop into a first team player. But really good performance tonight. Really happy with it. Really enjoyable as well in terms of us dealing with the possession, being intense, which is good to see. Angelo was good when he came on naturally in terms of positioning, and just a really good, well-rounded performance. And listen, we'll go into the Celtic game. I'll be interested to see how we play. I imagine it will be really similar. I think obviously because the squad is so limited at the minute in terms of recruitment, that you are going to start to see these players become quite familiar. Alves, Okaflex, those players will get to game time. And I imagine we'll see that on Saturday and moving forward into the Atalanta game, which I will be at, which I'm buzzing for. First time back in a stadium for a long, long time. And then, of course, we move on to the first game of the season against Newcastle away. But that is it tonight. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section on the performance. Let me know your thoughts on some of the standout performances tonight. I'm sure people may pick out Jarrod Bowen first half, Ben Johnson second half, and obviously Conor Coventry, who's probably man of the match for me, put a real good shift in. So take everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'm sure I'll speak